Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all.
All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store.
This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, first story up, we have to do another update video on Hurricane Milton, which is currently hitting Florida, Central Florida, I believe. Well, actually, it's going through the middle of Florida is the better way to put it. Tampa Bay and Daytona, I believe they said is what's getting the brunt of the storm. Basically, those that are closer to the water are getting the brunt of the damage, but good news, like I was telling you guys last week, that sometimes when the storms hit the land, usually it'll downgrade some. So even though they were saying that this was going to be a Category 5 while it was over the waters, by the time it made it to Florida, they said that it downgraded to a Category 1, which is good. Still not good for anybody that's experiencing a hurricane, and especially not good for those who just came off of the heels of Hurricane Helene and may have had damage from that storm. But yeah, so they basically, the mayor of Tampa Bay, what's her name? Jane Castor. The mayor went on the news and basically said that if you don't get out, you are going to die. A pretty dire situation there. Even sadder for those who cannot get out. Everybody can't afford to leave. Everybody doesn't have the means to leave. And so it makes it exponentially more dangerous for those that stay there. So my hope is that people were able to at least leave their homes and go to a safer space, not necessarily leaving completely, but getting away from what is most dangerous for them and their family. I would be terrified if I lived there. Like, people always would say, you lived with earthquakes and all, and I will always tell people that earthquakes is not they're just not as bad as hurricanes and tornadoes. And earthquakes don't happen. There's not an earthquake season as opposed to, what happens with hurricanes and tornadoes. So, yeah, my prayers go up for all of the people that are there. I feel so sorry for the people that have already lost so much. And then for those who are getting caught up in all of the political antics, whether or not assistance being provided by the government, whether or not the governor there is or is not working with the Biden administration to try to help these people, misinformation about FEMA, all of that. I was I was listening on the radio the other day, and a man had called in and was very upset about people not getting the help that is needed. And he even said that money was being provided for illegal immigrants, but not the victims there. And I don't know how true that is. I don't believe that is true. However, the people there are feeling that they are not getting the assistance that is needed. Okay. And frustrations all around. I mean, nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to lose their everything, their home, their stuff, So I just feel really bad. A lot of people from Florida, though, have taken up the suggestion that they leave and have relocated temporarily here to Georgia. The traffic here the last few days have been horrible. I mean, there is just a lot of people in Georgia right now. I'm sure it's probably worse in southern Georgia. They said that the hotels were filling up quickly. People were losing their reservations. Like, if you made a reservation and you didn't make it in a certain time and if somebody else came and needed that room, they were giving reservations away. And now they're saying that if there are, according to Vice President Harris, she said that if people are price gouging, They are definitely monitoring to make sure that people are not taking advantage of folks that need shelter, need gas, need food. You know, they're making sure that these prices are not just jumping up, taking advantage of people who have no choice and is going to pretty much have to pay whatever is put in front of them, which is terrible in and of itself. I understand that we live in a society where, you know, it's business and people got to make their money, and I understand that. However, to have a room that would have normally been $100 a night and for it to go up to $500 a night because we have people that are coming up from the storm, well, that is absolutely not right. Okay, and that is called taking advantage of a situation and of people, and I would hope that people aren't doing that, but I am realistic and I know that that is exactly what's happening. So there is that. You know, a lot of people have had their eyes on Florida. People are saying that they are going to help out. I actually just saw, before I came down to do this video, that Lil Durk said, you know what, he got this little power check. Okay, now that he's an esteemed actor, he got a few extra dollars. Him and his team are actually going to make sure that they help in the aftermath. So they're going to be providing food and water, and for people to just keep, you know, just watch out, that he's going to come once the storm passes. They see what is needed and they're going to try to fill that void, that gap for people, and there are going to be other people that are doing that as well. But yeah, you guys, I feel so bad for Florida. That's one of the reasons why Mr. had actually suggested that we possibly moved when we were moving from LA. It wasn't really anything we really truly thought about, but he did say at one time, like, what about Miami? And Miami, because Miami reminded me close enough to LA's weather. Okay, Miami's probably hotter than LA is, but when I go down to Florida, like to the bottom part of Florida, it feels more like, you know, the weather that I was used to at the time. So I thought about it, but then I was just like, because them storms, child, them hurricanes and them tornadoes, it's just like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. So Florida was quickly taken off, and I'm glad that we didn't move down there, because it just seems like Florida gets the hell beat out of them every fucking year, and it's getting worse and worse. So, and more frequent, you know. So, yeah, I'm just gonna continue to say prayers up for all my Roxstars friends and family and loved ones, you know, just the people, the community out there that are tired. Okay, we're gonna hope that this storm passes on by, you guys, with as little damage as possible. We are hoping that people don't lose lives, and that everybody gets out on the other side of this safely. Okay, so keep you guys heads up down that way. I see some of you guys here in Georgia, so but hopefully everything works out well and everybody can make it back home and, you know, get back home to their stuff. Okay, next story. All right, you guys, so they say that Dr. Dre, what mama name? I forgot to put his name. I know his name is Andre. What's his last name? Y'all remember? Andre? Can't think of it right now. Anyway, he's being sued by his former marriage counselor. Okay. Dr. Charles Sophie said that he has been extremely harassed by Dr. Dre. And he can't take it no more. Okay. So apparently Dr. Sophie was Dr. Dre and his wife, what's her name? Nicole. He was their counselor when they were going through marital problems. Eventually that didn't work out. They decided they were going to get a divorce. And so he was actually the mediator in their divorce. All right. Once the divorce was finalized, Nicole took her money and ran, and everybody seemed to be okay except for Dr. Dre. Dr. Sophie said that 14 months after the divorce was finalized, Dr. Dre began threatening him, like continuously calling and sending text messages, and saying he was accusing the doctor of using a third party, using somebody else to talk bad about him in social media. Okay, so Dr. Dre didn't like that. He was threatening the man, saying that he was gonna get him, that he was gonna get his, you know, and those kind of things. Even sent according to Dr. Sophie, allegedly sent some men over there who were dressed as the feds, and to scare him, basically. And it worked. The doctor said that he began wearing bulletproof vests all over, and even including when he's just in his home, because he just did not know whether or not he was going to be safe. And because of that, he has now decided to sue Dr. Dre for $10 million. Okay, $10 million. And he's also requesting that Dr. Dre has to stay permanently at least 100 feet away from him. So, yeah, Dr. Dre had been terrified this man. I guess I could see that probably is true. We've heard things about Dr. Dre. I could definitely see him doing something like this. So, but we don't know yet. We're going to see. I'm sure if this even makes it to court, because this sounds like a situation where now that it's been brought public, maybe they can settle on this and move forward. 14 months after the divorce, like Dr. Dre, he's worried about people talking bad about him in social media. But I mean, people been talking bad about Dr. Dre for a long time. I've heard people say a lot of bad things about Dr. Dre. So it's interesting that he is taking it out on his marriage counselor like that, because it's almost to the point where it's like, get in line, But yeah, Dr. Dre said he don't play that shit, and you better watch your back, nigga. Keep your head on the swivel. So Dr. Sophie said he tired of this. His nerves bad. He, keep looking over his shoulder. He can't live like this no more. So suing $10 million. And we'll see what comes of that. What you guys think, though? Do you believe that Dr. Dre is capable of extreme harassment and terrifying this man? Maybe we could ask Nicole, see what she got to say about it. Okay. But yeah, hopefully they can get this shit situated. Dr. Dre, leave that man alone. All right, you guys. So I saw last week that Jaguar Wright was on Piers Morgan's show. Okay. And I didn't watch, because I don't really watch anything that has Jaguar Wright on it. I am pretty much convinced that Jaguar Wright has a mental illness. And I hate when I see her on different people's platforms, because I just, there are so many people out there now who believe pretty much anything that comes across social media. And I just... What I will say, without getting too much into it, is that I know of certain situations that Jaguar Wright has talked about that I know for a fact that she's just not right. I was very close to the situation, and I just know 100% that the things that she has said about this situation was not true. And I believe that is how it is for a lot of things that Jaguar Wright says. Now, of course, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Okay. So with that, I believe that there are some things that she probably knows about and that she is right about, but there's probably a lot of things that she doesn't know about, that she has jumped on the conspiracy bandwagon, and she, creates stories that just simply aren't true. And so to me, she's not necessarily the most reliable when it comes to those kind of things. But I know that in this day and age that a lot of people drink up all of that because they just love a spectacular story. And for the most part, people have let Jaguar Wright live because I think that they felt that she was harmless in the spaces that she was frequenting. Like, we would see her on the blogs. She would show up on the blogs, and she would show up on people's podcasts, not no big names or anything like that. And she would give her interviews like that, but nothing huge, nothing that I think that the people that she was talking about felt that it was even warranted that they needed to even follow up on it. It was just sort of like, we're going to ignore her because what she says is just so outlandish and crazy. Well, that all changed when Piers Morgan invited her onto his show. Okay, now this is different. The platform is different. They are a nationally syndicated show. You know, it's shown all over. You have a person who has all these unsubstantiated claims to come on there. First of all, Piers Morgan, if he wasn't the person that said get her, whoever his team was, they had to know who Jaguar Wright was. Okay. And they invited her on for the specific reason that she does what she does. Okay. And I know that because why else would you put Jaguar Wright on there? She's not promoting anything. She doesn't have a book. She doesn't have any new music out. She's not in a movie. She's not on a TV show. You know, she is not promoting anything other than the things that she says when she accuses people of being involved. I'm assuming that she's probably really busy with this whole Puffy thing because she's always said a lot of stuff about Puffy, and now we've seen that it looks like at least some of those claims have been, have come to pass. So they invited her on there because they knew that she was going to get on there and say, now they may have thought that she was just going to keep it to Puffy, but to me, she's so erratic at times that you could not have thought that she would not have possibly gone off the topic and moved on to other things and started bringing other people into it. And that's exactly what she did. And she talked about Jay-Z and Beyonce and accused them of things that they're saying is not true. So while she's been able to do this and get away with it, and maybe that's why she's just been so comfortable enough to go on to a nationally, televised show, this time the Carters was not having it. Okay. So they had their lawyer reach out to the Piers Morgan show and told them that if you don't take down that damn interview, if you don't deny those false allegations, if you don't wipe that shit up off y'all network, we are going to take y'all to court, and court is going to force y'all to do it. Okay? Because that shit was not right. It's not true. And like the lawyer said, she's taken by her just making up these stories, she's taken the attention off of like real victims, people that actually have a story, that actually were affected, by you lying on other people. Yeah, no. I know, because I see it all the time. Like, people seem to believe that just because you are in that industry and you have gotten to a certain level, okay, CEO level, for example, that all of them take advantage of their artists and things like that. And that's just not always the case. I was listening to Young Jock's show out here in Atlanta the other day, and he had Jermaine Dupri on there. And Jermaine Dupri was just like, listen, I done told you guys a long time ago, you ain't never got to worry about me being involved in no shit like that. He was like, I don't do that. I'm from the South. We don't play them games here. I was not ever involved in any of that shit that Puffy was doing, that they're claiming that he's doing. He was just like, don't lump me in with that. And I think people need to remember that just because you saw Puffy with these certain folks in the past, that does not mean that they were involved in his after party antics. Okay. You remember when we always gonna remember what Denzel said. Okay, you can go to the party and everything, but when the devil show up, it's time to go. So Puffy's been around a lot of people, a lot of powerful people. Yeah, there will be some people that get pulled into this case, but that does not mean that everybody is going to get pulled into that case. Okay. And, people are saying that why hasn't a lot of Hollywood spoken out? But why would they need to? Okay. If they weren't involved, what exactly are they supposed to say? They gonna say the same shit as anybody else. Fuck, we were surprised too. Or maybe they might have known, but why, what they getting involved in that for? So, yeah, Jay-Z's people told him to take that shit down. And with the quickness. And this was not no threat. This is a promise that is going to happen. All right. So Piers Morgan then decided to not only take that information down, but also apologize to them and say that Jaguar Wright had came onto his show and went off of the path and had all of these unexpected claims about Jay-Z and Beyonce. And I was just like, unexpected my ass. That's bullshit. That is bullshit, But whatever you got to do to get off the hook. All right. And I guess Piers, by him kowtowing down and saying that he's sorry, that's good enough. But, well, that's going to have to do. But yeah, people need to be more careful. I know that everybody loves the salaciousness of this Puffy story, and it is easy to fall down certain rabbit holes and start to believe that everybody is doing the same thing. But until proof of that stuff starts to come out, it's dangerous to just assume that everybody is doing it. All right. So there's that. But yeah, they was just like, nigga, you can't just decide to put shit up on there. We've seen Jaguar Wright say a lot of things, but just because she's saying it, that doesn't mean that you're supposed to amplify it on your show. So yeah, Pierce was just like, my bad, and he took the shit down. Beyonce and Jay-Z have been living their life, child, and we've actually seen a lot of Beyonce. They've been staying out of the fray. They've been ignoring it all. Beyonce has a lot of stuff to promote right now. Like I said, she's doing Levi. She's got her whiskey. She's still on her Cowboy Carter thing. And just recently we saw that her mom received a Woman of the Year award from Glamour magazine. And so we saw them all there and supporting. So Beyonce has just been busy and minding her own business, and we haven't heard nothing about anybody else, yet. They haven't talked about anybody else that might have been involved with the Puffy stuff. And so everybody is just continuing on with their life, and yeah, I don't think that it's smart to just assume that everybody is doing it. I love the unbothered approach. They so damn rich that they can just put their legal team on it and and still continue to pay it dust. Like, let the legal people fool with that. All right. Y'all let me know what you think about that. Again, I know that there are many people out there that believe that that definitely believe that Jay-Z is involved in this shit with Puffy. But until we see any proof, I think it's not right to just assume that he or anybody else CEO level is involved. All right. Yeah, y'all let me know what you think about all that. Next story. Lastly, you guys, I just wanted to remind you guys all that my nephew's movie, Mr. Crocket, is coming out on Hulu tomorrow. Well, I do this video on Thursday, so this is Thursday that I'm doing this, but it will be out on October 11th, which is Friday, which is the day that this video uploads. So you guys make sure that you support. Mr. Crocket is a horror movie. It's a part of Hulu. It's the channel Hulu's Huluween, where they showcase like all of the horror movies on their channel. And my nephew, he is the director and the co-writer for the film. Okay. And it's basically about a man very similar to like a Mr. Rogers, who has a children's show, who gets into the minds of the children that watch him, like pretty much takes them over, kidnaps them, and kills the parents. Okay. And so it's coming out tomorrow, and we're real proud of him. I was just talking to him before I came out to do this video, because I was just like, Brandon, okay, I need you to let me know if this is going to be super scary because I am a super scary person and I don't normally like horror movies, but I want to make sure I support. And he said, yeah, it is scary, but it's also got some comedy in it. And the people that have seen it, that have previewed it and seen it already, said that even though they don't like horror movies, that they have been enjoying this type of movie. So I am going on that, and I'm excited, and I'm happy for him. He is a good kid. He's always been a good kid. I hate that my brother is not here to see it. But I know he's looking down. I know him and my mom is looking down and just seeing, you know, and being proud of how accomplished that his son has turned out to be. So yeah, you guys, y'all make sure y'all tune in. It's going to be on Hulu, and it loads tomorrow. You know, it uploads tomorrow, or it premieres tomorrow, I'm supposed to say, I guess. It premieres tomorrow. It premieres tomorrow on Hulu. You guys, sorry, you guys make sure that you watch, and you guys make sure that you let my nephew know if you decide to leave any comments anywhere, you know, that you are a rock star and that you were supporting that way. And we, again, so happy for you, Brandon. Love you and so proud. All right, you guys, that is it. We do this every single week, so make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.